If we limit our thinking to the narrow confines of our time and place, then we effectively limit our horizons to our time and space.
Human dignity wins if we are organized and focused and do everything we can to make that day come.
In the face of so many kinds of injustices and problems and struggles, it doesn't mean that we can be powerless. It means that we can actually find bits of hope from other people's stories, from our own ideas, from collective action, and that together we can actually carry on the march of human progress.
It needs to be something that we do together, in nation and across nations.
We shouldn't welcome refugees because they contribute. We should welcome them because it's the right thing to do, Yes. And I'm not a burden on society.
It's a brilliant mix of debate, dialogue, questions, curiosity, and the ability to think, what now? What next? And how can I make a difference, however small?
We're bringing together many different kinds of people with many different kinds of stories to tell and ideas to make change happen. And we'll learn from each other. And that's the idea of a festival, to celebrate change and make it possible.
I retreated into poetry. It was this small, quiet, old-fashioned art form. 30 years later, I feel as if I found freedom through poetry, and that's surprised me. I didn't see it coming.
I really liked how you brought the arts in with having human rights talks and stuff like that, because I feel like sometimes arts aren't always integrated into stuff like that, and it's nice that it has been.
In truth, the most important work I learned was circling the dough with my hand, working it over and onto itself, back home in the middle of the country.
It's been really interesting for me as a poet who normally speaks at literary festivals with other poets and writers to be rubbing shoulders with politicians and policymakers and entrepreneurs and talking about the ideas that I'm passionate about but maybe I'm not as informed about in the same way. And so bringing all these people together has been something that is really valuable, and I hope it happens again.
We can deliver our messages in a myriad of ways using compassion, and we do that through food and around coming together around a meal and breaking bread.
It's not just kind of people who've bought a ticket. You can come along actually and just sit in the bar and listen to people on the soapbox, which is also really good. It makes the festival really accessible, and I think that's what they've tried to do as well.
And it's important that we look into the development of sustainable solutions to address these problems that we face across the globe.
It's just great to see all them people singing from the same hymn sheet and challenging the establishment really, and saying it belongs to everyone.
They're scared from female judge. They're scared of my education. They're scared because of my power. And I stand what I believe in. Nobody can change me.
There was an act of parliament that makes sure that people who know immigration status have no recourse to public funds. So how can you enact those rights when the law of the land actually is saying that it's okay to leave some people destitute? That is what it's saying.
I always think that one of the things at the base of human rights is just sheer kindness, about being kind to each other rather than cruel or expressing some kind of hatred.
My biggest takeaway is just completely being reminded that, oh yeah, wait, hold on, I have a voice. And you teach that to the kids, you teach that to the community, and you hear that all the time. But I don't think you internalize it as much as you possibly could. And sometimes it's very easy to forget it.
The timing of it has been really, really necessary, I think, for a lot of people. I think they came in here kind of like this with trepidation, and by the end of it, they're like, okay, I think I can do this now.
When I started working in human rights, all of Latin America was under right-wing military dictatorships. Today, there's not one left standing. South Africa was at the height of apartheid. Today, South Africa's had series of freely elected governments. All those changes happen because small groups of determined people harnessed the dream of freedom, used the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and fought for change.